if one can come into contact with the essence of the Satyadharma at any moment, that's it. The purification will be all at once, all at once. There is nothing that is easily stumbled with. Everything will be more fluent. That which is boundless is not just about samsara or anything. Everything is no grasping on its own, discarding on its own. Is the era of the Satyadharma. Conclude completely, define completely. This will turn into the passing on of the great blessed fortune within oneself. Is the great blessed fortune of the unobstructed that is going to support every time that there is an assuming up. This is very important. All the great perfections, they invest with all the troubling to help end for samsara. It's just that it doesn't grasp for itself. The difficulty that doesn't grasp for itself, the assume up, is made with difficulties, but there is no grasping for it. The graces are genius in the enlightenment for samsara. That's why they offer to samsara. Therefore, samsara must be given this ending, this essence. This is the essence that is beyond samsaraness. In order to lead samsara, to get over samsaraness. All in all, it's all about a refinement for the blessing for each one. Until the conclusion is in place, the boundlessness of the Mahasunyata. Therefore, it can be used to support the blessing, that which is boundless at all times, not to be limited to certain extent, not just about the assumed up, not just about samsara or all beings. No limits, no limits, no limits. That which is boundless is to be at all times, not to be limited to certain extent at all times. Then is enabled to assume up, to bless and purify samsara. Assume up as the medium to purify samsara constantly. Karma has to be cleansed as karma. Assume the foundation to purify karma. Whether it's karma or not karma, it can be cleansed. All of the karma has to assume the foundation, the essence, to purify karma. Sometimes they use karma with us, sometimes we use karma with them. This is just an assumed to purify karma for the beings. That's why it's called the conclusion to end altogether. It has to assume it up that they have to pay back with the graces, and the graces have to pay back karma to them. Therefore, it must be assumed up. Assume up karma to purify karma by Sunyata Nibbana. It has been connected for so long. However, when the essence of Sunyata Nibbana is used to purify, it's going to be easier and easier. Use the essence of that which is boundless constantly. The boundlessness, not to be limited to certain extents, not to be just about samsara or nibbana, not just about attachment or detachment, not just about happiness or suffering, liberated or not to be limited to certain extents constantly, not to be limited constantly, that which is boundless. It will purify constantly by Sunyata Nibbana, constantly purifying everything. It cannot be limited to certain extent, otherwise it's going to be difficult. Otherwise, also going to be too long in difficulty. Not to be limited with just nibbana or samsara. Liberated or not, having or not having, no limits. This will be the essence of the boundlessness that purifies constantly altogether through the emptiness, actually. Disengage is not limited with just that. It is boundless. Uninvolvement is not just limited to itself, it's also boundless. That which is boundless to be proceeded constantly, it will purify all the angles, various angles of samsara will be cleansed constantly as well. Various angles of samsara will be purified constantly. Everything is discarding itself, letting go of itself. No grasping is on its own, with everything. Whenever there is a limitation, there is difficulty, it will be blocked with just suffering. To be limited to anything for too long is impossible. Discarding itself instantaneously. No grasping on its own instantaneously. Everything is no grasping on its own instantly. Let's not be limited to certain extent for too long. With everything is discarding on its own instantly. Let's not be limited to certain extent for too long. It's impossible. It's gonna create difficulties.